I am the I. I come forth from the void into light. I am the breath that nurtures life. I am that emptiness, that hollowness beyond all consciousness. The I, the id, the all. I draw my bow of rainbows across the waters, the continuum of minds with matters. I am the incoming and the outgoing of breath, the invisible, untouchable breathe, the undefinable atom of creation. I am the I. So as you say this prayer, it is the Hooponopono. And so we've got to come back to ourselves, beginning with the source in you. You're connected to the source, and you want this source to make decisions for you, and not memories. So now you are the three selves. That is the spiritual, the mental, and the physical. That's who you are. So now, the conscious mind, which is the intellect, decides to do the cleaning, and this is the I am the I prayer. So as it begins to say that, now I'm going to put memories in here, the kind of stuff that we experience as guilt and anger and resentment. So now I say the I am the I prayer, then immediately that energy always goes down to the subconscious of the physical mind. And then it loops up, it goes to the spiritual mind, or the alma kua. You translate the word alma kua, it means across all time and space. So the alma kua is never saddled with a memory, it's always eternal, free. So this part of you is perfect. And then that energy goes up. This is a petition, a request. So you're making a request to this source, and this is the problem, what I'm going to call dissolver, not problem solver. You're going to get this part of you to dissolve the memory that's in you. So that energy goes up, and then the divinity looks and hears and knows exactly what needs to be released. So now the energy comes down. This is the mana. This is divine energy. This is not oxygen. This is pure divine energy coming down. So it fills the spiritual mind with this energy. It moves down. It always does it spiritually first. Then it comes down to the conscious mind, or the uhani, and it fills that. It's looking, scanning, doing whatever it needs to do, and then it comes down where your problems are, in the unipili. And then it scans. Just like you have if you're an AOL member, it's always scanning, and then it decides that this can be voided. So it voids that. So leave a space there for you. Now there's an opening. It may zero out that, it may cancel that. I don't know how the divinity decides. But let's assume now you worked on something long enough. So now you're empty. So this is empty, but this emptiness is filled with this quietness, which is the divine source. So you're empty, empty, empty. That's the first thing that comes down. Then the next thing that comes down is what I'm going to call Manatu. Manatu. And so that thing comes down. And this is so simple. So now the energy comes down, the next flow comes down. So the next flow comes down is inspiration, because you're empty. There's no resistance. So it's just coming down. So now it comes down to the intellect, because the intellect's quiet. It's not engaged. So now it comes down into the subconscious, the child in you, because it's not engaged. So now you're into the flow. And this is what will happen if you let go. But if you don't let go, then you're forever stuck with memories. And this is what happens to us. So once the memory kicks in at the subconscious level, the intellect engages it and just gets sucked away, and it's called chaos. This is the scientific word for it. But when I was growing up as a good Catholic, it's called hell. You're all over the place. So it is only about the way to problem solve anything. There are only two ways you can do it. You can either engage in it, which is what the intellect will do, like mine most of the time, Or you can go up and have the divinity disengage it for you and leave an emptiness there. So that's all we're talking about this weekend. And so I would like to ask you if you have any questions about what we've covered so far and why we're here. So we are only here to be perfect. So as long as we're empty and ourselves created exactly in the image of God, then the flow will come. But if we get stuck in memory at the subconscious level and then the intellect hooks, it's like, can you stand up and show us the picture of the fish your son caught? And tell us how heavy it is.
109 pound Ulua.
109 pound Ulua offshore. You didn't get in the boat. So how long did it take? How long did it take?
Half an hour to find it.
Yeah, so for us, thank you. For us, our intellect engaging and with all our lives, we're stuck. And you know, we do that stuff and we're stuck. And we keep thinking we can get out of it. You can't get out of it. You can't get out of it at this level. So we're always trying to solve it at this level instead of going all the way to the top of the mountain where you can see everything. You're like the divinity, you're seeing everything. You're going to the top of the mountain. And so now that you hit the button by saying light switch or whatever, and now the flow comes. This is the flow of love, inspiration, whatever you want to call it, that comes to flow in. But if the memory shows up and the intellect hook, then we're stuck. So let's see if anybody has any questions or anything like that. As I was cleaning, I heard this word come up, strong. So I just told her that, because it's something that she needs to pay attention to. And this is the word, this is called envy. So I said to her, you should be working on envy. That's something you need to work on. Listen, some of you didn't get it yet. Listen to this. She said, is it my envy or his? And then I'm saying to her, it's not her, it's the memory. So it's not him, not her, the memory kicks in like you have a Toshiba computer dealing with a Sanyo. It's not the computer, it's the memories that they hold. So I said to her that one of the things she has to work on is envy. That's something you have to work on. Being a woman makes it even more difficult. When you decide, a woman decides, really, it's a cataclysmic process when a woman gets to the point she said, I'm going to be out on my own. Did you know that? You guys don't know that. I'll tell you why you don't know that. If all the women in the world were given more money than they needed, they would leave the guys they're hanging around with. Except my sister. You understand that? If they had their own resources, they would go. I would say maybe 60-70% of the people who are in relationship would just leave. Especially if they got kids. So envy. So now she's a woman getting on her own. If she doesn't work with envy, it's going to take her down. Not that she won't make any money, she's going to die from cancer of the stomach, the colon. I tell you, it'll kill her. Envy. Thank you. So anybody have any questions about any of this stuff? So let's say somebody asked my friend over here a question. Let's say I'm a client and I'm approaching and I'm talking to him. What's his job? Hello, what's his job? What? Okay, and how would he clean? One of the things I would do in his office, see, now you gotta pay attention. Everybody is a unique child of God. So when I come into his office, and I were him, one of the things I hear is I would put a glass out somewhere, hide it in his office. 3/4 glass from tap water. Because boy, the stuff that he handles is crazy stuff. Like he was saying, complex. I mean, forces like that. Now you put a glass like this in his office, what this acts is like on a pressure cooker. You know how you go, zzz, that's all. So now you put this, as crazy as it sounds, I would put it in his room, and as the stuff comes up, the memory, it'll go all down the drain. That's what the 3/4 glass is. It's the drain. So if you run a business and you don't have this hidden someplace, you're crazy. This is the drain. This is Hooponopono. It's releasing the stress. Otherwise, my friends will die from some kind of horrible stomach cancer or something. Really. So all you have to do, 3/4 glass, and it's in the book. If you want a business, put it out and let this thing help you clean and drain the stuff. If you got a crazy house where people are always arguing, this thing is very helpful. It really drains the stuff. And that's all you want to do, because you're only here to be yourself. If you have memory is what I'm going to be Catholic now. Okay, so now when a memory plays, like she gets a stomach pain, it's falling from grace. You have fallen. You're a fallen angel. That's what stress is. You have fallen from grace. So now you do the cleaning. You allow the divinity to remove that. Now you rise. So you're now in the flow. Your flow is upward. But when a memory comes, you feel heavy, it goes downward. And you have a choice. Do you want to go upward or downward? Well, I want to go upward if I can. But you only can go upward. This is called thinking, envy. As it plays, you feel depressed. So now you eat things like strawberry, because you feel down. As soon as you begin to eat that, the divinity will erase that and change the direction. So now you go up. Even if it's only for one moment. And then another memory comes down like that. And then you go down. And it's hitting you every moment of your day. So now the question is, do you want to be free? So here's what Abraham Lincoln talked about. I was reading one of his letters, I don't know, years ago, and they got into a discussion on the life, how the war was going. And then he brought up he loved King Lear, Shakespeare's King Lear. But he said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. That's what happens to us. When a memory comes up, we divide ourselves, we separate ourselves from God. So we have a falling. But now you have this ability, and it's so simple. You drink the water, you breathe. As soon as you allow the divinity to erase the memory, there's going to be a reversal. You know how people talk, wow, I have a reversal of fortune. Well, so I'm going to pause to see if you have any questions. 3/4 glass, strawberries, all that stuff back there is to keep you from falling, or if you're falling, to reverse it. And some of it is crazy, like my friend said. Doesn't make sense. If you brought some Hawaiians in here and they tell you what, you can do Hooponopono by eating M&M's, they throw stones at you. And so I got to watch who's coming. Nah, he's not Hawaiian. Oh boy. Really? But listen, what is the divinity's message? Come to me as a child. And you know, when you look at children, they like sweet stuff. So instead of you talking to them, leave one little bit of M&M's. See, I have M&M's I take, but they're little bitty ones, you know. Because I love them. If I have them big ones, boy, once I start, I can't stop, yeah? I keep saying I'm cleaning. Okay? So again, the only choice you have is you want to go ascend or do you want to drop. And if you're going to do that, you got to get back to zero. Then in zero, there's no resistance, no thinking, no coping, no managing. And once you say that, if you look at the eyes prayer, the eyes prayer goes like this. The first line, I come forth from the void into light. This is what the divinity is talking about. But you got to give divinity a chance. It cannot intrude into your life. You have to give the divinity a chance. So let's say you're feeling like our friend, she's feeling this memory taking her down. Now she's feeling it knotted in her stomach. Divinity can't help her unless she says light switch or something, because it's an invasion of your privacy. You get to choose whether you're going to go down or go up. Save me, say I'm sorry.
Hooponopono. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't. If you haven't heard of it, brace yourself, because it's the most powerful, the most transformational, the most magical, the most miraculous technique I've ever come across. I'm Dr. Joe Vitale. I've written 80 books. I've recorded 15 albums. I have 200 some products. I have a coaching program, certification programs, but nothing ever has had the impact in my life as Hooponopono has. I've been teaching it to other people since around 2005. There is great depth to it, though it's very simple. On the very superficial level, there's really only 4 phrases, and you're kind of saying them as a quiet prayer or petition. But there's so much more to it than that. And what I really want you to do is check it out. I want you to check it out for you, your family, your friends, and ultimately for the world. It's that powerful. And as I like to say, expect miracles.